Hey folks, it's Jared Vananen from the website TahoeTrailGuide.com. Today I wanted to talk about Swix brand liquid spray-on wax that they released in the winter of 2019-2020. I've received a lot of questions and inquiries as to whether or not this type of wax will replace hot waxing with a block wax, or if it's just another type of universal, easy to put on, easy to come off type of a wax. First off, I want to apologize for the lighting scenario here with my glowing white sleeves. I'm trying to use some of this natural light. It's been a bit icy and slushy here at Lake Tahoe. We're waiting for some fresh snow to fall, so I thought, why not just take the day and prep my skis for when it does fall. These spray-on waxes are not a replacement for a block wax or hot waxing. They're a supporting element to those hot waxing sessions that you put into your cross-country skis. The purpose is to be able to use the wax of the day without putting a whole lot of effort into waxing if conditions change from the last time that you waxed your skis. I was able to participate in a wax clinic. Their belief was hot wax your skis and go ahead and use them, and then when you're done, brush them out. But then go ahead and take a couple of ski sessions using applications of this spray-on wax. So it kind of extends the life of your time between full hot wax sessions using block waxes. And that's pretty much what I've been using it for, and it's a nice thing. What I appreciate about these spray-on waxes is that they are temperature specific. They're not part of the F4 line or Toko's Express wax where it's a universal, good for everything, not great for any one thing. So these allow you to be more specific when applying the wax as far as the temperature of the snow is concerned. So for example, the hot wax here, Swix's CH8, these are pretty much the same type of wax. However, the hot waxing application will impregnate the base of the ski with more wax simply because you're applying heat as well as wax to the ski base. This again, you're not really heating up anything when you're applying that, you're just simply spraying over the top. In addition to spraying over the top, it's recommended that you wait between like 10 and 20 minutes for the wax to set, and then you can take really fine, in this case I would only use this blue nylon, this fine nylon, to polish the bases. Honestly, this season so far, my use of this spray-on wax has been in between hot wax sessions and after I've skied. I'll either brush out the base, depending on how dirty the bases look, with a steel brush or a bronze brush. And then I'll spray and apply the wax to the bases. I'll let it set for 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll just go ski. I haven't really worried too much about polishing the bases because I'm not waxing for race performance, I'm waxing for function. And that little bit of residue that I'm gonna polish off or brush out with this really fine, that's gonna come off in the first couple of 100 meters of skiing anyway. So I just try to wax as quickly and efficiently as possible so that when I go out, and a lot of times I'm only going out for 5 or 10K, so this type of an application is great for that use. An interesting approach that this wax tech, wax representative had described for this season was that he's beginning to use a colder wax for base preparation before applying any of the spray waxes or subsequent hot wax sessions. So at Lake Tahoe, the temperatures don't get really cold. We'll be lucky to see single digits. So I wouldn't really ever get colder than this type of wax, this blue wax that Swix makes, the CH6, which goes down to -14 up to 23 degrees Fahrenheit. This is as cold as I need. What he's been doing is using base prep, cold, hard wax, and then spending at least half a day reheating that wax to really get it to set into the base of the skis. Then he'll scrape and brush that wax off and then apply the wax of the day. Now that wax of the day could be the application of a spray wax, and he mentioned that once or twice when he realizes that, hey, conditions change dramatically from when I waxed last night in anticipation of the next day to the actual next day. So in that case, you can be a little bit more flexible by applying this cold wax. He also said though that 3 to 5 ski sessions would probably be appropriate for using this in between hot waxing. So again, it's not a replacement to block wax, it's simply an augmentation or supporting element to it. A couple of reasons why that wax representative has started using a colder wax to apply before putting the wax of the day on is that it does increase the durability of the bases. It also acts as a type of binder for a softer wax when you apply it over the top of that. So again, durability and binding, just to make sure that that wax will stay on the base of your ski as long as possible. So what I did this morning was I went ahead and I applied some of this blue hard wax into the tips and tails of this pair of skis. The reason I chose this skis was because yesterday I took them out for about a 10K or a little over a 10K ski. It was a combination of ice and slush, and some of that ice was hard, and these bases just looked like they got ravaged by that hard ice that I was skiing over. But it was good, even though it was a little bit like combat skiing. I had a great time, and I got outside and I got to see some amazing views. So that's what I love about cross-country skiing, is going across country and skiing. But these tools need to be maintained, and waxing them is one of those ways in which we maintain those tools. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick scrape and brush of these, and then I will apply some of the spray on to demonstrate. It's not rocket science, but it is nice to see somebody else do it, just so you kind of get an idea of what you're in for. I have that hard blue wax that I've scraped and then brushed. I'm going to put on violet wax. Is this going to be what I use next? I don't know, but I just wanted to demonstrate, and I prefer a colder wax over a softer, warmer wax, just because we are supposed to get snow, and if I go ahead and use these, this will be the better option than something warmer. So, I've opened the door because this does dissipate pretty far, and honestly you should have a window open or a door open at all times when waxing anyway, just because you're heating up particles and they're going in the air, not to mention shooting particles in the air when you're scraping and brushing. Because I'm confident in my diagonal striding technique, I'm actually going to go ahead and just spray the entire length of the ski, scale pattern and all, because if you don't treat the scale pattern, and this is like one of the most frequently asked questions I'm given, is if you don't treat it, the snow's just going to grip there. It's going to get stuck in there, and it's going to be miserable time skiing. So applying some liquid or paste wax, usually it's just the universal stuff, I definitely do in here. And since this is already out, I'm going to spray it. It's just as easy to spray the whole thing. So here we go. And that's that, but you can see all the particles going, so I'm going to go step outside and breathe, and then I'm going to open the garage door to let the fresh air flood the place. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and post any comments or questions that you may have in the comments section below. Take care, guys.